2019 25th Anniversary National Legends Cars Championship is sponsored by 24 Hour Solutions. No problems, only solutions.
Anglesey in North Wales hosts round 4 of the 2019 UK National Legends Championship. It looks as though we're going to get our first wet races of the season, and there's a good chance that that could mix up the order a fair bit. Early championship leader Connor Mills didn't have a brilliant day yesterday, so he'll be hoping to bounce back here in the 4th round of the championship.
The weather not as nice as it was for round 3 here on Anglesey. This day 2 of our second event of the 2019 calendar, which you can see here. We're back at Brands next time out. Donington, Snetterton, Pembrey and Brands in November, the finale.
Well, James Hall-Morton here at Anglesey for part 2 of your weekend. Yesterday didn't quite go to plan though, did it?
No, don't get me wrong, we started off strong and picking up a 6 in the first race, which we were happy with that because it's Brands Action next week. We just wanted to get 6 finishes, 6 decent results and the car in one piece. But unfortunately that changed in race 2 as going up the long straight, one of the tyres blew, which that was a bit of a moment. And then came in, changed that. And literally the lap after when I come back out, my rocket ship decided to blow a gasket out the back, so we had to do an engine change ready for the final just to pick up some points there, which was a good final. Everyone was on the pace in that one, about 8 or 9 cars bunched up. You didn't know who were going to win it. But unfortunately there was a little incident between me, Matt and John, and Matt decided to come for a little roll over the front bonnet there and catch a couple of wings, which luckily we'll happily get away with that. But yeah, today's going to be a wet one, I know that.
This is your second season then in the National Legends Championship. What was it that attracted you to this series?
Well, my dad, to be fair, because he's been around it for however many years, 20 odd since it started. And he's won most of the championship, well I think he's won every championship, so it was obviously in the script to me to take his car. And obviously this year, with it being the 25th, I've gone for his championship winning colours, which when we brought it out for the first round, everyone were like, oh, is it actually going to be the return of my dad or is it going to be me? So that's the reason for that.
Front row of the grid shared by Miles Rudman in the 7 car. Next to him is Paul Simkis, the black and white car of Mike Schlupp. Then it's Paul Simmons in the yellow 51. Getting ready for lights out here. Very tricky conditions. The first wet race of the season. Away we go on board in the van with Nathan Anthony, Sean Smith ahead to our left. It's Rob King immediately ahead. John Mickle coming into shot in the silver Quicksteel car. Going into the banking for the first time. Miles Rudman's getting away. Miles Rudman has done the first few corners very well indeed. He's out of the spray and heads down towards Church in the lead as Paul Simmons in yellow challenges for second place. There is Sean Smith in the 21, John Mickle behind. You'll see the drivers exploring the outside line. There's no racing rubber on the outside line on some of the corners. It means that the gaps in the tarmac filled up with bits of rubber on the racing line, but where there are gaps, there'll be a little bit more grip on the outside line. Through into 3rd position, now 2nd, great move by Will Gibson in the 57. Past Paul Simkis, Marcus Pett goes on the outside line to challenge for 3rd. Pett looking for the grip on the outside line. Simkis holds sway though, there's Connor Mills in the 82. Championship leader after Brands Hatch. Cy Harraway in 83 now leads the championship. And the first for Vans machine having a great battle there with Mike Schlupp. It's Nick Bridgman in behind in blue. Just watching for Nick coming into shot. Miles Rudman already at the corkscrew. Will Gibson 2nd. Marcus Pett 3rd. Pett continuing the super run he had yesterday to win the day outright. Marcus Pett had third, first and fourth positions, and he's showing great pace once again here, and he's already up into third place as they go 3 wide in the wet across the line. Cy Haraway in the mix there in the 83 car, closing down now on Jack Parker, goes up the inside line, pulls out, and that's Marcus Pett off on the grass. We spoke too soon. He's trying to get back on, and Marcus Pett, that won't be a round win today, I don't think. He's got a lot of recovery to do. Marcus Pett, the round 3 winner, is right at the back of the field now. It's still Miles Rudman looking for his first win of the season, third in the championship behind Cy Haraway and John Mickle at the moment. John Mickle has been so consistent thus far. There's Haraway, flies past Rob King as they go up the hill into Rocket, switches lines, goes to the inside line of Jack Parker, who was looking, I think, for grip on the outside line. Haraway goes through, there's John Mickle, second in the championship, the multi-champion, the number 4. And John knows how to race, he knows how to win championships as well. He knows that you've got to finish races. I think last year it was 2 retirements over the course of a season. If we look back through the stats, I remember one year when Chris Grieve won the championship, it was 1 non-finish. That's why you've got to be so consistent. The preparation has to be meticulous, as does the driving in Legends cars, and yet none of these guys that win championships take things easy on track. They go for the wins. Sean Smith on the inside line here of Rob King. Good move by Smith. Won race 3 in the previous day's round. Nathan Anthony making progress in the Savannah as well. Great marketing tool, that car. He's up ahead of James Hall Morton, who's about to be passed by Paul Simkis in the 99. Paul started off the front. We've got Mike Schlupp down behind them, and John Mickle up ahead. You can see John, well, just out of shot now, but taking a wide line. He's more than one line, particularly in the wet around the banking at that hairpin. Miles Rudman, the race leader. Will Gibson second, Cy Haraway third, Jack Parker in 13 fourth, then 5th position 21, Sean Smith. A relatively settled field at the moment, and Miles Rudman here is, I reckon, he's only 5 points behind John Mickle in the championship standing, so this potentially to move Miles Rudman, the race leader, into second place in the championship. But we've got the reverse grid race 2 to come, so really we won't get a realistic picture of the championship points until we're out of race 2 and into the final, when the top point scorers start together. The back of the field, Hall Morton goes wide, Mike Schlupp going through on the inside line. Mike's career best 4th position, best so far this year 13th. He's looked a little bit happier here on Anglesey than he did at Brands Hatch, Mike Schlupp, which is good to see in the JLM car, and enjoying his racing. Wherever you look in the grid, there will be battles going on. Downhill into the corkscrew, left, still downhill, and then right turn, still going downhill, joining the international circuit, then round into the left hand of the final turn on the lap, and they'll tick off another lap here on the club circuit. Used to do one day on the club circuit. That's Jack Parker off the track. So Jack Parker rejoins, but has lost a couple of places. Connor Mills running well in the 82. Paul Simmons is in yellow ahead of him. Rob King just ahead of Paul Simmons at the moment. So Connor Mills has been scoring consistently. 5th in the championship, Connor Mills, despite having had problems. And you know what? I think he'll take that. He'll continue to work and chip away. He's seen the mindset of John Mickle and how John wins championships over the years, and he knows that you've got to keep finishing. He was very, very quick at Brands. He was the driver that took the most wins, but he's not letting the DNFs wind him up at the moment. He's bringing the car home when he can, as high as he can, and now goes for the inside line here, Connor Mills. Make no apology for mentioning the Formula Ford race I saw him in at Donington Park. He was running with one of the lower budget teams, and he was so quick in the wet. A terrific leveller in single-seater racing. We know Connor's a big talent, and it just goes to show how very, very good the driving standards are in the Legends Cars Championship. Paul Simmons, the Masters champion, holds him up at the moment, was defending, but leaves a gap. Connor goes through, and now look at Simmons, great run out of the corner, read that well. He knew he was going to have the momentum on the run through, repasses Connor Mills. It's almost a cliche now, but we say more overtaking in one race than a whole season of top draw championships in Legends, and that proves it. They pass, they repass, they dice, they learn racecraft, and they provide superb entertainment wherever we go. Mills now going to repay the favour again, looks on the inside line as they head down in towards Church, but Paul Simmons has got the sweep. The recovering Jack Parker going slightly wider and looking for a run, maybe up the hill. There was a little twitch from Paul Simmons as we go back to the race leader, Miles Rudman, up the hill, nothing to worry about for the 7 car. Miles goes through. This is, I think, will take career wins into double figures for Miles Rudman. I might be wrong about that. But Miles looking, I think, for career win 10, which will tie him with Rob Fountain, who's not with us this weekend. Mike Schlupp and Paul Simkis. What a great race there, having Mike got so close there. Backs out of it, doesn't want to dislodge the 99 car. And they're having a great race, these 3 drivers at the moment. This is midfield. You can see a fair amount of space between a lot of the cars already. James Hall Morton ahead of Paul Simkis in the 99. Paul's career best of 5th. Best this year of 6th place. Race 4 at Brands Hatch. And Paul now getting the attention of, oh dear, and a little mistake there. Is he going to glance the pit wall? Gets going again, does Paul, so a good recovery. Nick Bridgman not too far behind him now, as well as Cy Haraway is through into 2nd place. So this is 2nd, 3rd and 4th. Cy Haraway, the championship leader, is not going to lose too many points at the moment on Miles Rudman. If Rudman wins this, look at the lead that Miles Rudman has got coming into Rocket. The gap between 1st and 2nd points-wise is 15 points. So Cy Haraway won't be too bothered about that. Will Gibson leaves the door open. Sean Smith coming through on the inside line here, challenging hard. It'll be good to see Will Gibson back on the podium if he can do it, but I tell you what, Sean Smith having a very good look down the inside line, keeping it tight. Gibson in that new chassis. They've built it up since the rollover at Brands Hatch, and he's defending 3rd position very well here. Well, I say defending, he's also taking the battle to Cy Haraway. So these 3, this is the dice for 2nd place. Miles Rudman still away in lead position. Haraway 2nd. Will Gibson coming under pressure from Sean Smith, who will look on the inside line as they come along the main straight to challenge for a podium position here. So Gibson still in 3rd, Sean Smith in 4th place as they come out of the banking. Jack Parker is next up. Parker's had a superb recovery, and that's showing in his pace on the timing screen as well, setting some blistering laps is Jack Parker, but it's Miles Rudman out front. Cy Haraway in 2nd, look, getting very crossed up there and working hard. Gibson still 3rd. Will Gibson looks to the outside line here, side by side with Cy Haraway, putting the championship leader under pressure, but they make contact, and it's a waltz, a spin, a pirouette for the 57 car, who loses a couple of places, and now the battle for 2nd place is with Sean Smith, who goes on the inside line of Cy Haraway, and Cy might be a little bit dishevelled from that. No, he's not. He comes back on the inside line. Sean Smith goes quick into the corner, deep on the exit. Haraway comes back. Will Gibson is rejoining. He's down behind Connor Mills. He might be outside the top 10, but no problems for Miles Rudman, who's got nobody to race with. This was off the front for Miles, but absolutely textbook race off the front. Broke away from everybody. He's just done his own thing. He's been setting good laps, and we're looking at a 1st win of the season here for Miles Rudman as he goes across the line and just won 1.5 mile lap to go here around Anglesey. Jack Parker is closing in on a potential podium. This has been a great recovery from Jack Parker in the wet, as Sean Smith trying hard again as they go up towards the banking, but it's Cy Haraway still there in 2nd place. Smith will have a look through on the inside line. They're both trying to find the grip where they can. Parker still trying to close in the 2nd, 3rd and 4th. Paul Simmons in 5th place is driving a terrific race with Connor Mills. Simmons 5th, Connor Mills in 6th position, and still the battle for the podium here with Cy Haraway, who will extend the championship lead over John Mickle. But Miles Rudman, I think now will go into 2nd place now as Jack Parker challenges for 3rd. Here's the race leader. There's John T. Norman in the 43 car. John T. will see the battle coming up towards him, but this is the scrap for 2nd. You can see Parker's up into 3rd, but In goes Sean Smith again in the 21 car. Parker's got momentum though in the 13 machine and goes round the outside line, and he's going to challenge for second place but goes wide. Sean Smith's going to get third place back here, and Parker didn't quite have enough of a sweep there to grab the position back as they head downhill for the last time. Sean Smith back into third place, and Cy Haraway looking very cool in the 83. He's coming under pressure, but Miles Rudman will take the checker. There it is. Rudman wins the first race of round 4. Here's the battle for second. Haraway's going to take it. A late run from Jack Parker. Superb recovery from Parker, but it was Rudman, Haraway and Sean Smith, the top 3. Miles Rudman's first race win of the season and a career 10th win for him. Cy Haraway second from Sean Smith and Jack Parker. Paul Simmons in 5th ahead of Connor Mills, then Rob King. John Mickle 8th, Will Gibson recovering for 9th ahead of Nathan Anthony. In 10th place, 11th was Mike Schlupp, then James Hall Morton. Marcus Pett ahead of Nick Bridgman and Paul Simkis. Bill Reid 16th from John T. Norman and Phil Turner. All drivers that started finished. Great driving, great Legends Racing.
Well, Miles Rudman, congratulations. Victory in the opening race of the day here at Anglesey, and a very comfortable margin by Legend standards.
Yeah, I just didn't look behind, if I'm honest. I just focused on moving forward all the time. I wasn't really interested in what was behind. I was just eager to get the win and get it started off. But yeah, I had a decent advantage starting on the front row, and I thought I'd take advantage of it as much as I could, really.
Well, Cy Haraway, congratulations. Championship leader coming into this weekend and a solid second place finish to start the day.
Yeah, I mean, it's much more than we expected, because we obviously started off the back. So, I thought to myself, I could get a top 5 or 6. I'll be over the moon with that, keep consistently scoring points. But the car just felt really good to start with. Started picking through the traffic, and a couple of people tangled together. And then at one point I thought I was going to catch Miles, and I came onto the pit straight, give it a little bit too much gas, and so then I just knocked it back a little bit, but then ended up tangling with the other guys behind anyway. So really pleased. Good start.
Sean Smith, third place in our opener here at Anglesey for today. A solid result there and fastest lap to boot.
Yep, that's the first I know of the fastest lap, so that's really good. That's nice to hear. Really good race, hard work. I started mid-pack, I suppose, and just stay out of trouble and try and get to the front.
Well, we're with Phil Turner now then, here at Anglesey. We spoke to you last time out at Brands Hatch before your first races of the season. You had an up and down weekend, I think it's fair to say, last time out, but are you still enjoying yourself?
Yeah, we're still having great fun. The team's still here, which is good. I haven't scared any of them off, which is nice. We've had a few hiccups this weekend, which has put a lot of strain on the team, but they've done brilliantly to keep the car out there. And, we've been out for every race, which is great. And yeah, fundamentally we're enjoying ourselves, which is most important.
I suppose Anglesey is a circuit that you're learning as well. What do you think of this place?
I love it. I think it's great. I think it's a brilliant circuit. It's got everything, hasn't it? It's a three-dimensional circuit. It's got some fast sections. It's got that corkscrew, which is amazing. Somebody said to me last year, with Anglesey, all you're going to see is sky or sea, and hopefully you won't see a tyre wall. And I think they pretty much summed it up right. It's all sky or sea, and so far no tyre walls, which is good.
Pole position to championship leader Cy Haraway. He started at the back in the previous race, came through for second. Connor Mills also had a good finish. He's on the outside in the silver and blue 82. Connor actually moved up a championship position in race number 1. Conditions a little bit better here, and away we go for race 2 of round 4 of the championship. Cy Haraway leading from Connor Mills. John Mickle is next up from Jack Parker, who had an absolute flyer in the wet. And then it's Sean Smith. So we've got a lot of the big guns all been drawn together, which is fairly unusual, but it is a random grid draw that they have at the start of the meeting. And Spinner at the back, try and pick up and work out who that was. But the incredible thing for me, race number 1, is that they all finish the race as Sean Smith goes rally crossing sideways back on track. Nathan Anthony on the inside line. Marcus Pett hoping not to have an excursion in this one. Marcus dropped a position from 4th to 5th in the championship standings on race number 1. I hasten to add, this is by my mathematics, so I'm sure there are lots of people in the paddock that are doing their own maths, and the official points will be declared obviously at the end of the day. But we just like to keep an eye on what's happening where, as Paul Simmons, who's looking strong this weekend, looks on the inside line of Marcus Pett. Sean Smith back on track. Miles Rudman, race 1 winner, started at the front, so he's got the work to do this time around, has the number 7 car. And Miles Rudman, incidentally, by my maths again, up into 2nd position in the championship, with John Mickle there in the silver fort, still in 3rd place. And John, thus far, has only had 2 podia so far this year and no race wins, which is a very unusual scenario when you get to round 4. But as we said, John is bagging the points and getting the car up to the sharp end every time. The significant thing is he hasn't had a DNF. On board with Nathan Anthony down the inside line of Will Gibson to make the pass at the banking. Great move by Nathan Anthony in the Sedan. Gibson's going to have a look back on the inside line here, side by side, but Anthony's got the correct line to go into. Church carries that momentum through. The other thing about the van is it gives you more space, of course, for your signage on the side. And he's actually got the sedan shape, the bigger rear quarter window. So a good marketing tool is that in every respect, as Miles Rudman in black goes on the inside line of Paul Simmons. Next up for him, and a gyration, Marcus Pett. It is not Marcus's day. There was probably some contact there leading up into Rocket. And he takes the spin. He's going to be at the back of the field. The only good news for Marcus Pett is that with 2 relatively low scores, he'll be towards the front in the last race. Because remember, it's points scored with the top scorers at the back. Jonty Norman here dicing with Phil Turner. This is Jonty's first meeting of the season. And they're having a right old battle there with Jonty on the inside line. Phil Turner still learning his craft in Legends cars and working hard in the 24-hour solutions machine. That was incidentally the first national championship car to carry a 3-digit number for 247. As Miles Rudman goes down the inside of Sean Smith, trying to close up now Will Gibson in 57. Nathan Anthony still running well too, not that far behind John Mickle in the number 4 car. So this race settling down nicely. Day 2 of our doubleheader, 7 doubleheaders throughout the course of the season for the National Legends cars this year. Miles Rudman having a look, but no, Will Gibson round to the outside of Nathan Anthony, and through goes the 7 car. Great onboard shot from Nathan Anthony. Not good from his point of view that he was past. The door's open. Sean Smith's going to look at the inside line into Rocket as well. There's a tap on the back of Will Gibson's car. I think that was Sean Smith. Just a little nudge, but Gibson gets going again. Again, finishing is crucial. We've got James Hall Morton just ahead of him now in the Firth Steels 32 car. Cy Haraway is up front in this one. 2nd place Jack Parker. Connor Mills is in 3rd. Oh, Connor goes wide. Connor's got a problem. Connor Mills, he's coming straight into pit lane. That is bitter disappointment for Connor Mills in the 82 car. And that is, I think, going to be a 3rd retirement of the season. We're only on the 2nd event. And I was talking in race number 1 about the amount of DNFs. You can't have too many DNFs and win a championship. Connor might buck that this year. I'm sure he's going to carry on, but it is clearly not his weekend and not his start to the season. John Mickle still running. Miles Rudman has caught John Mickle here. So Rudman having an absolute flyer once again. And closing up on John. He's going to have a run up the hill here. He's going to try the outside line. Side by side. John will see him there, and in fact he's got the move done. So Miles Rudman makes up another position up ahead of John Mickle. Still Cy Haraway leading. Jack Parker is in 2nd, and Miles Rudman has come through from the back of the field into 3rd place. Is he going to be able to close down on Cy Haraway though? There's an awful lot of work to do. Looks like he might catch Jack Parker. Overtaking Parker is going to be another matter altogether. So we've got the big guns have worked their way through. We've lost Connor Mills. There's Sean Smith having another consistent run in black and red. The 2 yellow fellas there. Paul Simmons up ahead of Nathan Anthony. Will Gibson trying to get back in the mix, chasing James Hall Morton down through the corkscrew. That's the immense piece of circuit that Phil Turner was talking about. All the drivers love that. They love the whole track because it's such a natural venue built into the contours of the land here. That's why people love coming and racing this particular track. As James Hall-Morton goes on the outside line, is he going to make the move here? No, he can't. Will Gibson still following him, and Nathan Anthony at the head. Paul Simmons just now starting to break away from that trio. And through on the outside line goes Will Gibson, manages to pass Nathan Anthony. This is the two cars dicing ahead of those. Paul Simmons in 5th place in yellow, leading James Hall-Morton, who's about to look up the inside line. So 5th and 6th, 7th and 8th position. 8th is Nathan Anthony at the moment in the Sedan. Getting some good coverage today is Nathan Anthony. He's giving us some great racing, which is why the camera is sticking with him. But Paul Simmons coming under pressure from James Hall-Morton as they come down in the corkscrew. And that's Will Gibson off track. Gibson goes across the circuit in front of Nathan Anthony, drops down to 8th place. That might even be 9th. I think Paul Simkis couldn't quite catch him in the black and red 99 car, but he's closer now, certainly, to Will Gibson. James Hall-Morton really getting close to Paul Simmons. Now takes the wide line into the banking. He'll hope that affords him more momentum out of the corner to maybe challenge coming down into the next bend, which is Church, the right-hander. He's not close enough in the 32 car. We've got a blue car coming up. I think that's Nick Bridgman, the blue car in the distance ahead of this group in the 68 car. He's down in 16th position at the moment. And maybe had a spin earlier on, or a problem earlier on, as James Hall-Morton goes to the outside line here, side by side, not quite. Paul Simmons hangs on, but he's deep into the corner, opposite locks, controls it well, doesn't spin, good control from 51 recovering, and just loses the one place there to James Hall-Morton, who's under a bit of pressure to go deep into the complex and has lost out. He's lost a little bit of ground as well. Nathan Anthony is being chased by Will Gibson, and then Marcus Pett in the 79 car, so Marcus Pett recovering well too, and in 9th place. I thought that was Paul Simkis earlier on, but it was actually Marcus Pett, so apologies to all concerned as they come down through the corkscrew. Gibson putting pressure on Nathan Anthony. A superb three-way dice here. It's Nathan Anthony holding sway at the moment in 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th position. Down behind them is, I think, Rob King. But this trio still very much hard at it as they come up into the banking. And Marcus Pett is going to look at the outside line, as is Will Gibson side by side. Nathan's seen him, he gives him room. Look at that, there's room on the exit, and now there's room on the inside line. But Nathan actually had more momentum, holds on to position. Wonderful Legends racing from these three. Down into Church, Marcus Pett now the challenger. So Marcus, what's he going to do? Looks inside, then looks outside, and is through. Good move by Marcus Pett, good recovery from him here as Nathan Anthony will want the position back, but into the complex they go. Will Gibson taking a nice wide line into the complex. Meanwhile, this is the 2nd and 3rd place car. It's still, beg your pardon, it's the race for the lead, isn't it? Cy Haraway and Jack Parker fighting it out for the lead. It was actually Jack Parker who got the fastest lap in race 1. And Parker again showing good pace here and taking the battle to championship leader Cy Haraway. Parker, like many of the Legends drivers that we've seen today, proving himself back, and off goes Marcus Pett. He's got to put the kettle on by the look of it. Marcus Pett, he won't appreciate the joke, I'm sorry Marcus and team. Marcus Pett, yesterday's winner, is going to be off the front in the final, so he might be in with a shout of a consolation race win as the battle for the lead hots up, and Jack Parker's coming through on the inside line. Parker's got the lead. Jack Parker passes championship leader Cy Haraway through Church, through School Corner now, up the hill, but Haraway's got the line into the complex. The 83 car could reclaim the lead here, and he does. He read that well, he stuck to it. Parker, I think, losing a little bit of ground with sideways motion there as Will Gibson comes through and challenges Nathan Anthony. That is for 7th place. Back with the battle for the lead, and Jack Parker having another look. Cy Haraway in 83 in the Pro 24 Racing prepared car. Oh, and Parker has to go on the grass there. Haraway fighting hard for the lead, and Miles Rudman is closing up as well. Miles Rudman closing in, across the line they go on to the last lap. I reckon this race is done now, and it's Haraway who is still there. Jack Parker momentarily held the lead, but has lost a little bit of ground. but is still in second place and scoring good points here. Jack Parker 6 in the championship standings, despite Sean Smith taking a chunk out of his points in the first race. There is Jonty Norman in the 43 car, still racing hard. Jonty is in 14th place. It's going to be equaling his best finish from yesterday. I tell you what, I said this race was done. It isn't, because Jack Parker is closing in on Cy Haraway again. Parker is very, very dogged. He was quick, he was rapid in the wet conditions yesterday, earlier on today. It's much drier now, but he's still got that turn of speed and great racecraft. And Cy Haraway, with the Ayrton Senna coloured helmet, is there as well, hanging on. There's a little bit of a gap, and Parker's going to have a look for the lead. Down into the corkscrew. This is Haraway's to lose now, but he'll keep a cool head in the 83 car. Haraway under pressure, the championship leader, but I think it's going to be maximum points. Parker here thinking it might be a run to the flag, goes wide into the last turn, but it's going to be Cy Haraway who takes the checker in race 2 of round 4. Jack Parker second, Miles Rudman from the back is in third place. John Mickle again consistent in 4th position. Fastest lap goes to James Hall Morton on the last lap of the race. He finishes in 5th as we watch Paul Simkis up ahead of Rob King. Nathan Anthony, Nathan's running in 11th position in the 29 car and still racing all the way to the flag. This is Bill Reid and Jonty Norman. Superb race here. Bill Reid goes on the outside line, a little bit of a wobble from the 43 car. Bill Reid secures 13th position in the 67 car, his best finish of the season so far. Well done, Bill. Here's the result: Haraway, Parker, Rudman the top 3, John Mickle 4th from James Hall Morton, then Sean Smith and Paul Simmons, Will Gibson and Paul Simkis, Rob King completing the top 10. 11th goes to Nathan Anthony from Mike Schlupp and Bill Reid. Jonty Norman was next from Phil Turner and Nick Bridgman. Fastest lap goes to James Hall Morton on the last lap of the race.
Cy Haraway, winner of the second race today at Anglesey. You started on pole, you finished first. Easy.
Well, I wouldn't say it was easy. We certainly, Craig at Pro 24 made the right tyre choice. We went for wets. He adjusted the tyre pressures to suit, and he knows what he's doing. So I knew the car was going to be great. I think towards the end we struggled a little bit because I think the wet tyres were the best at the start. The drier, maybe intermediates, far better at the end because obviously they've got lesser circumference, so they got more straight line speed, but it just worked out well. Jack and I had a nice little battle at the end, but I race all day long with Jack. He's a super driver, so I knew it was going to be all right.
Jack Parker then, second place in our second race of the day here in Anglesey. Your first podium of the day. A solid result there. Good to get on the podium and bag some points, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Points make prizes. Try and eliminate all the non-finishes, and yeah, it's just main thing is just finishing, get to the end of the year, and see what we can do. See if we can actually claim either top 3 or potentially the win of the championship, but minimise all the non-finishes and the damage.
Well, Miles, congratulations. You got your first victory in race 1, another solid podium with a third place in race 2. Good day's work so far.
Yeah. Good day's work, yeah. Some more points in the bag. That's what we're looking for. Consistent finishes. Had to start at the back because of the reverse grid. But yeah, I just tried to get as far forward as I could and collect as many points as I possibly can.
Well, John Mickle, getting ready for the final here this afternoon. You may not have had a podium yet today, but you're still sort of solidly racking up those championship points, aren't you?
Yeah, no, we've had some issues today, but all we've got to do is keep finishing the top 5 or 6, which we've been doing. So you're right, yeah, we're just going to keep racking the points up and see where we are. And when you have them bad days, you just got to make sure that you don't make it too bad.
Well, we're with Connor Mills now, who's had, I think it's fair to say, a weekend to forget so far. I'm not going to ask you to tell us what the problems are. I'm just going to ask you what your plan is for this last race.
The plan is to win. Yeah, plan is to get out front and just go. But you know, Legends cars racing, it's not as easy as that. So we'll see. Get a clean start and then just take it from there.
The The great thing about Legends is that if you have two miserable opening races, you get the chance to start off the front in the third race of the weekend, and that's the case here with 79 Marcus Pett, who won yesterday's round, and Connor Mills in 82 as championship leader coming to Anglesey. They're at the front, and pit lane start for Cy Haraway. It's go from pit lane for the 83 car, the championship leader. Now that is a drama, but he'll only be a few metres short of where he was due to start, because he and Miles Rudman were due to start towards the back of the grid anyway as the top point scorers from the first two races. But Marcus Pett leads, Connor Mills in second, Nick Bridgman third, going side by side with Paul Simkis. Nathan Anthony making progress as well. Great shot of Nathan going through Church, coming up to School Corner. Inside line of Simkis goes the van, but look at 57 Will Gibson bump drafting through School and then up the hill. He stops bump drafting, he's got the hill. Nathan Anthony to the outside line of Nick Bridgman. Oh, and Nathan Anthony has a gyration here with all the traffic coming towards him. Nathan holds his nerve. We got three cars off. We got Will Gibson, Nick Bridgman in the background as well. They're all going to recover. Superb driver awareness by everybody coming up and managing to avoid Nathan. That could have been a lot worse as Connor Mills chases Marcus Pett. Third place is, and a spin for Jack Parker. Jack surely would have been on for the overall victory today. Parker, who's come through today up into fourth place in the championship in race 2. It's still Cy Haraway championship leader, Miles Rudman second, John Mickle third in the standings, and Jack Parker really put himself into contention, but he's back with the drivers that were involved at that move into the complex. Going wide is Sean Smith. Paul Simmons in yellow to his inside. The red and black car of Smith though looks to the outside line. Sean Smith, yesterday's final winner, first race win of the season for him. Cy Haraway though picking up a 5th career win. That brings him level with Will Gibson as Simmons chases Smith. This is the battle for the lead though. Marcus Pett out front with Connor Mills putting him under pressure. Rob King, podium yesterday, is still there. Miles Rudman, where has Rudman come through the field? Or more to the point, how has he done it? Miles Rudman is very definitely on for the overall round win here, but don't discount Cy Haraway, who's not that far behind as well from pit lane. Now remember that John Mickle has scored consistently. A wheel on the grass and a gyration for James Hall Morton as they come down the hill. He'll rejoin though. These two fighting it out for third position, and look at Rob King, grabs the outside of School. That's the inside into the complex and into third place. Miles Rudman down into fourth. Rudman, second top point scorer on the day so far, on 370 points. Cy Haraway on 385. Haraway busy trying to work his way up through the order after that pit lane start. So Rob King, super job to get into third place. John Mickle next up. There's Cy Haraway up ahead of Sean Smith, Paul Simkis, Paul Simmons, who scored well too. Then James Hall Morton back on circuit after the grassy moment. Won't let anything like that stop him. Will Gibson being chased by Mike Schlupp. Mike in the JLM car, heading down to Peel Corner and then round into the downhill corkscrew section. Connor Mills still in a reasonable place at the moment, and but no, he's been passed. Connor Mills slowing up. Rob King goes through into second, Miles Rudman third, Connor Mills is fourth. And Connor very clearly not looking happy this weekend. John Mickle closing in on Connor as well. No, but it's Rob King up to second place. Still Marcus Pett, the race leader. He saw a flash of grey just out of shot. The race leader. Dismal day so far for Marcus Pett after the celebrations yesterday. And he's 7th in the table at the moment. May well claw his way a little bit further back up the order. This is very much a long game, Legends Racing. And this only the second event of the season. Rob King though knows he's in a fight. Miles Rudman here not only fighting for second place, but fighting to outscore Cy Haraway in the points in this race to try and take the overall victory if he can. 15 points between them at the moment. If they finish 1 and 2, they'll tie if Miles Rudman manages to win it, but he's back into second. Good move there on the inside line of Rob King, and now coming up into the mix is Connor Mills, still not being left. Connor not the happiest we've seen him, but still getting points. That's what it's about. Ask John Mickle. There is Cy Haraway behind Mickle in the silver car. Rob King's coming back, fighting back for second place, and does what he did a couple of laps ago and goes through. Last time it was to third, this time it's into second, past Miles Rudman, the rest are closing up. Will Gibson dicing with Bill Reid in the 67 car. Gibson goes past, trying to work his way through after the problems we had on the early lap. Cy Haraway dives down the inside line of John Mickle, going up into the banking. John, I think, is going to have a look back. Cy gets across fairly tight. Rudman looking to try and reclaim second position from King. Haraway in fourth. At the moment, Haraway will be top point scorer because he's only one place, 10 points in essence behind Miles Rudman in this race, and we've still got some to go as John Mickle now looks to change that, goes through, passes at School Corner but leaves room. He knows Cy Haraway wants to come through, back on the inside line, which he does, and in fact loses a place there to Sean Smith, who comes back in the 21 car. Superb Legends Racing. Connor Mills losing a little bit of ground at the back of this group, but still in a reasonably healthy point scoring position at the moment after that DNF. That's what he needs to do, but it's still Marcus Pett out front. Marcus is not getting any coverage here. Rob King definitely is, so too is Miles Rudman. Down through the corkscrew, Cy Haraway is behind Rudman, and he'll want to get in the mix as well to get ahead. At the moment, if they were to red flag and checker the race at the moment, it would be Cy Haraway the overall round winner and extending the championship lead, but he'll want to get ahead of Miles Rudman and make more progress up through the field, but Rob King won't want to let go. King coming under pressure from Miles Rudman. Marcus Pett still the race leader and is clear. I can tell you that Cy Haraway has got the fastest lap of the race. This is 12 laps, the two heats were 10 laps, the extra distance affording those at the back of the field the chance to come through for extra laps now, and John Mickle side by side with Sean Smith. Multi-champion John Mickle goes through. Great move by him, read that well. We've not seen that many passes at Church today. That's because it takes the driver of top calibre. John Mickle manages to do it. Sean Smith, great driver in his own right as well, playing fair on that corner. Great racing between the two of them. We'll see whether Sean can fight back. So into Peel. This is where they start to make their way back towards the paddock and pit complex here. Down through the corkscrew again. Rob King still second. And apologies to Marcus Pett fans out there for not seeing him, but he's on his own out front at the moment. If he comes under pressure, we'll show you some of the action. Sean Smith, you saw, came off the gas there so as not to clatter John Mickle down through the corkscrew. He knows that a little tap there would have sent John spinning around and out of the race. So good thinking there from Sean Smith, and great reactions as now Haraway looks down the inside line, dives down the inside into the banking and passes Miles Rudman for third place. Haraway from a pit lane start not only is top point scorer but passes the man who's challenging him at the top of the day's points, goes through. So it's Cy Haraway up into third. He's now going to try and challenge down Rob King, but Miles Rudman's not finished. They work together. Rudman working with Haraway. Haraway up into second now, past King. Rudman's going to go up as well. King's on the outside line in the 74 car into the complex. King hangs on to it. That was great driving by Rob King, very much back to his best. Superb to see. And he splits the two black cars and is in third place. Smith and Mickle still giving chase. Connor Mills is down behind them as well. Still bagging potential points here, Connor Mills. Still fifth in the table. Sean Smith might get closer to him in this race as well. So down through the corkscrew again. Marcus Pett still with that lead, which he's maintaining. But Cy Haraway, fastest man on track, trying to close in. There is Cy Haraway in second place. Rob King still third. Miles Rudman fourth. Third position is a four-way scrap at the minute. Rudman does what Haraway did to him, or tries to do to Rob King what Haraway did to him a couple of laps back. Looks down the inside line going into the banking. It doesn't work. They have to try and work somewhere else out to pass. We've seen that John Mickle was quick going into Church earlier on. Let's see if he is here again. Certainly closing up. Four car set up well here. Having a look back, Connor Mills very much on his own in seventh place. And looks like he might hold on to that, pending any more problems, of course, as Rob King now challenges for second place again. Could get hang out to dry on the outside line and is challenging Cy Haraway in second, but Rob King still third. Miles Rudman fourth. Marcus Pett still the race leader and keen to come away here from a dismal day. It was a terrific day yesterday for Marcus Pett, as we said, but today the best thing you can do is take your grid position at the front if your heats are lousy and get away out the front. He would have expected a big challenge from Connor Mills, who's a little way back and a little bit underpowered by the looks of things today. So Pett still leading, Haraway second, Rob King driving superbly and having to fight for third. On to the last lap they go. King under big pressure from the black and yellow car of Miles Rudman through turn one, up towards the banking for the last time. Is the inside line covered? Yes, I think it is there by Rob King. This one of many potential passing places on the circuit. Sean Smith is all over the back of John Mickle, so they're having their battle for 5th place. Sean Smith in 6th, Connor Mills 7th. It's Marcus Pett who's out front, barring any disastrous happenings to Marcus Pett. He is going to win the 6th race of the weekend here on Anglesey and wrap up what has overall been a pretty good weekend for him. Again, Rudman gets close to King, backs out of it to avoid contact. Pett leads, one of the markers goes for a Burton. Cy Haraway from a pit lane start is second. Miles Rudman still putting pressure on Rob King. John Mickle having a nibble there, a tight line as he comes out of the complex, heads down towards Peel once again. Sean Smith's got the luxury at the back of being able to take the wider racing line. Might be able to close in on John, who's now challenging Miles Rudman. So Rudman having to defend a little bit. That will compromise his attack on Rob King, but Rob has looked very secure in 3rd place here. It's going to be Marcus Pett heading down towards the last turn. He's out of the last turn, in fact. There's the checker. Marcus Pett takes the win in the final. 2nd place, Cy Haraway. 3rd position is Rob King. Haraway will win the day overall on points by my maths. Here is Nathan Anthony up ahead of Paul Simmons. These two dicing for 11th place. It's Nathan that takes it. Paul in 12th. Will Gibson was behind them. But Marcus Pett congratulated by Cy Haraway. The winner went from the front of the grid. 2nd place man from the pit lane right at the back. Rob King in 3rd. Miles Rudman 4th from John Mickle. And then Sean Smith. Connor Mills next up from Jack Parker and James Hall-Morton. Paul Simkis completing the top 10. Nathan Anthony 11th from Paul Simmons and Will Gibson. Nick Bridgman 14th, then Mike Schlupp. Phil Turner completing the finishers. Hard lines to Bill Reid and John T. Norman. Fastest lap, Cy Haraway.
Well, congratulations, Marcus, then, winner of our final here at Anglesey. A great drive that was. You got the break early on and never looked back.
Yeah, exactly that. We've had some misfortune today, so ended up starting off the front. A great job by all the team, just getting engine in with literally seconds to spare before we went out for that race, and did my best to repay them with their good effort. So, yeah, fantastic race.
Well, Rob, congratulations. You had a 3rd place in the final yesterday and a repeat of that result today. There's never an easy podium in this championship, though, is there?
Not at all. That was a real humdinger of a race. You earn your podiums in this series.
Well, Cy Haraway, what a day it's been. The only driver not to be off the podium all day. I think you'll settle for that, won't you?
Do you know what, mate? Absolutely blown away. That last race having to come from the pit lane. I drove out my skin, but I couldn't do it without this man, Craig. He's built me such a phenomenal car. It just does everything you want it to do. And, we're a team. And we're the best team, and that's it. We're going to win this championship now.
Speaking of that championship, you're leading it now. Does that add pressure or take it away?
I love pressure. Bring it on. That's where I want to be. I'd rather be in front than behind.
Good stuff. Well, congratulations. A great day's work.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
A great day's racing from all the Legends cars. There's the passion for the championship leader, Cy Haraway. A points deduction for him on round 4 means that Miles Rudman takes the overall day from Cy. Jack Parker 3rd, Sean Smith in 4th ahead of John Mickle, then Rob King and Paul Simmons. James Hall-Morton in 8th ahead of Will Gibson and Nathan Anthony. Cy leads the championship as mentioned. Miles Rudman 2nd from John Mickle. Jack Parker in 3rd, then Connor Mills, Marcus Pett and Sean Smith 7th. The top 10 completed by James Hall-Morton, Paul Simmons and Nathan Anthony.
So 3 different winners from the 3 races today at Anglesey in very different conditions, but it's Cy Haraway who appears to be emerging as one of the firm championship favourites. 3 podium results and a clear championship lead as we head back to Brands Hatch. This is a long championship though, there are lots more points on offer. It's still all to play for. Join us next time to see what happens next.